On a seemingly ordinary day, systems appeared to be running smoothly. The director was busy with meetings, focusing on economic reports and fiscal policies.
What?
As the hours passed, the director began to notice unusual transactions appearing on his screen. They were requests sent through the Swift banking system, a network he trusted implicitly. But these requests were different. They felt wrong, almost ghostly in their nature. Little did he know, lurking behind the screens, a group of hackers was laying the groundwork for a heist that would make headlines around the world.
I will lead us home, yeah, I will lead us.
Their operation began months prior to that fateful day. Using phishing emails and malware, they managed to infiltrate the bank systems, obtaining sensitive information and gaining access to the Swift network. The hackers spent weeks studying the bank's operations, identifying vulnerabilities, and crafting their plan with meticulous precision. Now the question arises, what is Swift system? The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications, SWIFT, system powers most international money and security transfers. SWIFT is a vast messaging network used by financial institutions to quickly, accurately, and securely send and receive information, such as money transfer instructions. Coming back to the incidents, it all started with a simple email, one that looked legitimate enough to fool unsuspecting employees. Once clicked, it allowed the hackers entry into the bank's network. The hackers had spent months infiltrating the bank's network, gathering intelligence, and understanding their targets' routines. They launched their cyber assault under the cover of night, when the bank was least active. With most employees off-site, the timing provided the perfect opportunity to execute their plan. February 4th, 2016, wasn't just an arbitrary date. It was strategically chosen by the hackers. The timing played a critical role in their plan. The bank systems had lower activity during weekends, and Friday was a day when staff would be less vigilant, especially during the transition into the weekend. The total amount they aimed for? A staggering $951 million. They had carefully crafted their requests to appear legitimate, but as the night wore on, the first signs of trouble emerged. As the sun set on February 4th, 2016, the hackers sprang into action. By 10 p.m., they had already begun transferring large sums of money to various accounts, effectively putting their plan into motion before anyone could react. It was just after 10 p.m. when the bank's Treasury Department received a notification about the transactions. However, by this time, over $81 million had already been transferred to various accounts overseas. Panic began to set in as the bank scrambled to understand what was happening. Employees quickly realized that these transactions were not only unauthorized but also alarmingly sophisticated. The bank director was notified, and an emergency meeting was convened. The initial disbelief turned into frantic efforts to halt the transfers, but time was not on their side. The sheer volume of requests raised red flags. The hackers sent a series of rapid-fire transaction requests that, while cleverly crafted, were still unusual in volume and timing. This triggered alerts within the SWIFT system, prompting further scrutiny. As bank staff began to notice the suspicious activity, they initiated emergency protocols. By the time they managed to lock down the system, hoping to save however much they can. In the situation of panic, the heroic acts of the employees saved them at least $919 million. The rest? Gone. As the sun rose on February 5th, 2016, the world was waking up to an unprecedented crisis. The heist had sent shockwaves through the banking community, and all eyes turned to the Bangladesh bank. How could this have happened? Who were the masterminds behind such a brazen operation? The Bangladesh bank quickly activated their internal crisis team, launching an investigation that felt more like a high-stakes thriller than a standard protocol. They enlisted top cybersecurity experts, diving into a labyrinth of digital clues. What they uncovered was startling. The hackers had exploited a seemingly innocuous phishing email, gaining access to a user account that would unravel the bank's defenses. As investigators pored over the digital breadcrumbs, they realized the heist was meticulously planned, an operation months in the making. The bank's initial response was frantic, each second ticking away like a countdown. They called in international agencies, including Interpol and the FBI, racing against time to track down the stolen funds before they vanished into the shadows. Agents worked tirelessly, piecing together a complex web of transactions. Each lead seemed promising, yet the trail often turned cold, leading them to dead ends. It was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Every dollar seemed to disappear into a maze of shell companies and fake accounts, cleverly designed to obfuscate the hackers' true intentions. In a twist worthy of a movie script, investigators traced a significant portion of the funds to casinos in the Philippines. These establishments became a critical focus, as it appeared the hackers were laundering the money under the guise of high-stakes gambling. Agents coordinated with local authorities, but the clock was ticking, and the trail was getting colder by the minute. Cybersecurity experts were soon brought in to analyze the implications of the heist. They called it a wake-up call, a stunning reminder that the banking world was vulnerable to sophisticated cybercriminals. The investigation revealed not just the weaknesses of one institution, but systemic flaws that could jeopardize the entire financial system. The investigations into the 2016 Bangladesh bank heist became a gripping tale of cat and mouse, filled with unexpected twists and revelations. It was more than just a theft. It was a bold challenge to the very fabric of modern banking, igniting a global conversation about cybersecurity and vigilance. The stakes were high, and the lessons learned were invaluable, reminding us that in the world of finance, one misstep could lead to disaster. Whispers in the cybersecurity community pointed to a notorious group known as the Lazarus Group, a cybercrime syndicate with suspected ties to North Korea. This organization has been behind some of the most audacious cyberattacks in recent history. The Lazarus Group is infamous for blending state-sponsored motives with cybercrime, using sophisticated techniques that suggest a level of expertise and planning rarely seen in typical heists. Their fingerprints were all over the Bangladesh bank attack, from the malware used to the meticulous execution of the operation. Experts noted that the timing of the heist coincided with rising geopolitical tensions, making it not just a financial crime, but potentially a calculated strike by a state actor looking to flex its muscles on the global stage. The notion that a nation-state could orchestrate such a daring heist raised the stakes dramatically. This wasn't merely a theft, it was a bold statement in the world of cyber warfare, challenging us to rethink the security of our financial systems. If the Lazarus Group was indeed behind this heist, the implications could be far-reaching, igniting a new era of cyber conflict that blurred the lines between crime and statecraft. The Bangladesh bank heist sent shockwaves through the financial world, prompting an immediate and intense reaction. Within days, banks across the globe convened emergency meetings to reassess their cybersecurity measures, knowing that the next target could easily be them. Financial institutions ramped up their investments in cybersecurity, pouring millions into advanced technologies like AI-driven threat detection and multi-layered encryption. It was a digital arms race, with banks vying to fortify their defenses against an increasingly sophisticated enemy. Executives called for a new era of collaboration among banks, sharing intelligence and best practices to create a united front against cyber threats. The heist underscored that in the interconnected world of finance, one institution's vulnerability could jeopardize them all. The global response to the heist marked a turning point in the financial landscape. It was no longer just about securing assets, it was about safeguarding trust itself. As the financial world adjusted to this new reality, one thing became clear: in the battle against cybercrime, vigilance and innovation would be their greatest allies.